問題じゃねえぜ。
お願い。
僕がやります。これで決める。ありがとう。絶対に負けない。ターテンペストブレード。語りなさい。
君に続こう。
What's up everyone, I'm Dan and thanks to Hello Guillotine for the review code for Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's a bit of a mouthful, but what's the game really like? Granblue Fantasy has been one of Japan's biggest RPG franchises for well over a decade, spanning mobile games, anime, manga and fighting games, but as someone new to the series, I was a bit worried whether I could jump straight in without feeling completely lost. Thankfully, while the story assumes some familiarity with the characters, the game quickly won me over through its incredible presentation, addictive combat and satisfying gameplay loop. The game places you in the shoes of the captain of the Grand Cypher, whose life is linked to the mysterious Lyria as the crew continues their journey across the Sky Realm. There are plenty of references to past adventures and relationships that have already been established. Initially, that can feel a little intimidating, especially if you've never touched the mobile game or watched the anime. However, the cast are very likable and the chemistry between the crew feels so genuine that it doesn't take long before you're invested in what happens next. The main campaign moves at a brisk pace for an RPG at around 15 to 20 hours and never overstays its welcome, but it does depend on how many side missions and exploration you do, as this will add more time to your adventure. Where Endless Ragnarok truly shines is its combat. At first it honestly felt a little messy. There are abilities, cooldowns, party mechanics, link attacks, chain bursts and flashy effects happening everywhere, making the opening moments feel slightly overwhelming. But once everything begins to click, the combat becomes incredibly rewarding. Each playable character offers their own unique fighting style, encouraging experimentation until you find a favourite. Whether you prefer quick melee attacks, range combat, spellcasting or heavy hitters, there's plenty of variety throughout the roster. Battles eventually evolve into spectacular showcases of explosions, magical effects, devastating combo attacks and gigantic summons filling the screen. It looks absolutely incredible. While all these visual effects can occasionally make it difficult to see exactly what's happening, the developers have included options to reduce or completely disable many of the battle effects, allowing players to customize the experience depending on their preferences. It's a small quality of life feature, but one that's greatly appreciated during some of the more chaotic encounters. One of my favourite additions in the Endless Ragnarok version is the expanded endgame content. Even after the credits roll, there's still a lot to do. The new Conflux mode introduces unpredictable solo challenges, while additional quest tiers and tougher bosses provide plenty of reasons to continue upgrading your characters. The side missions especially reminded me of taking on hunts in Monster Hunter. You accept quests, jump into focused battles, earn rewards, improve your equipment, and head straight back out for another challenge. It's an addictive gameplay loop that's easy to jump into whether you have 10 minutes or several hours to spare. But still, every quest can be completed solo with AI companions or online with up to 4 players thanks to crossplay. Nintendo Switch 2 owners even get an exclusive local co-op support, making it a fantastic multiplayer experience. There is also a spoiler toggle, so when you are joining other players online, you don't have to have the story spoiled. Little things like this just made me appreciate and love this game even more. Players can switch between full English and Japanese voice acting at any point, and both casts deliver excellent performances. The voice work brings each character to life and gives the emotional moments genuine impact. The game also includes 3 difficulty settings, allowing players to simply enjoy the story or seek a more demanding challenge. Better still, difficulty can be changed during your playthrough, so you're never locked into a decision. For those less comfortable with action RPGs, there's both an assist mode and a full assist mode that helps automate combat mechanics, making the game much more approachable without taking away from the experience. There's even colorblind support included, showing that accessibility has clearly been considered throughout the development. Visually, Endless Ragnarok is absolutely beautiful. The anime-inspired art direction looks absolutely gorgeous on the Nintendo Switch 2. Character models are incredibly detailed, environments are vibrant, and the skies surrounding the Grand Cypher create a real sense of adventure. Whether you're exploring towns or standing on the deck of your airship overlooking the floating islands, it's difficult not to admire just how polished everything looks. The soundtrack deserves just as much recognition. The orchestral score perfectly captures both the grand scale of the adventure and the emotional, quieter moments, while the battle themes inject every encounter with excitement. Combined with outstanding voice acting, the audio presentation consistently impresses from beginning to end. Performance on the Nintendo Switch 2 is solid overall. The game targets 30 frames per second, and for the vast majority of the experience, it maintains that target well. During the most hectic battles, particularly when multiple enemies, summons, and special effects are happening simultaneously, you may notice the occasional dip, but it rarely detracts from the overall experience. It's difficult not to come away impressed by just how much content is packed into this package. Between the enjoyable campaign, huge roster of playable characters, extensive post-game progression, co-op quests, and endless Ragnarok editions, there's enough here to keep RPG fans busy for dozens upon dozens of hours. There are a few minor issues. The story pacing can occasionally feel rushed, and newcomers may wish there was a little bit more background information before being thrown into the adventure. Combat also takes a little patience before everything starts to make sense, but once it does, it's genuinely hard to put down. Endless Ragnarok is an outstanding action RPG that combines fast-paced combat, beautiful visuals, fantastic music, and an addictive endgame into one incredibly polished package. Whether you're a long-time Granblue fan or someone discovering the series for the first time like I did, there's a huge amount to enjoy here. I came away genuinely impressed by what this game has to offer, and thanks to its satisfying progression, excellent accessibility options, and endlessly enjoyable quest structure, it's a game I'll happily continue playing long after the credits rolled. Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok is out now on the Nintendo eShop, priced at $49.99 in the UK and $59.99 in the US. Big thanks once again to Hello Guillotine for the review code. Thanks to you all for watching. If you enjoyed the review, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and until next time.
ゴブリンどもがうじゃうじゃと。だが襲ってくる気はねえみてえだな。いいか、君たち早く逃げなさい。
何か来ます。
こいつにとっちゃ盾の立派な武器ってわけだ。イノシシ野郎の突進が厄介だ。なんか利用できねえか。
急いで向かってます。なんとか持ちこらえてください。
受けてみろ。捕まえてくれんだ。